solid state and true timber, as well as
It's noticeable to me that when I use a 4K mouse, it just feels more responsive.
you can go as fast as you can without trying to go on. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to give our thoughts and prayers for those who are currently in struggle after being struck by Hurricane Milton over in the Atlantic region. This is truly a catastrophic disaster, and I hope everyone over there can stay safe and that all repairs go smoothly and you can get back on with your lives. Now then, on to the main topic of this video. Today, we're here to look at the Kurosun Samurai. As usual, huge shout out to Tekkusai for sending this out to me, and without further ado, let's jump straight into it. The quick summary of the Kurosun Samurai is that this is one of the most balanced pads I have ever tried, matching their own place of being a balanced pad within their lineup. Build quality, base, stitching, etc. are fantastic. The artwork is also fantastic, the durability of the pad is next level for a cloth pad, and the surface feels clothy with a little bit of texture in a good way. Both the static and dynamic friction of this pad is extremely similar, giving it that balanced feeling, and additionally, the pad is actually acceptable with arm sleeves. So going into the specific details, features, unboxing, the Kurosun Samurai comes shipped in a flat black Kurosun envelope. Now, I'm not going to show this because it's a pain to fit onto the screen, but feel free to check out my Kurosun Ninja review previously, which is the exact same packaging as the Samurai other than the artwork. Now the pad measures in at 490 by 420 by 3mm thick, and it's an industry standard sizing. Now 500 by 500 units have been made specifically for certain pro FPS players as well, and may release in the future. Now notable pro players from Valorant that have been using this pad include Durka, Cryocells, Yay, and others that I can't remember right now. The pad also features a beautifully printed samurai artwork, and the Kurosun logo with samurai and balance down the bottom. It looks super clean and intricately designed in person. The pad retails for, I believe, $50 US or 100 AUD for those of us here in Australia at our mod shop. Unfortunately, the pad is currently unavailable, but I hope they bring back another production run. Now going straight to the base of the Kurosun Samurai features their improved alpha cell. Now this base sticks very well to desk surfaces and does not move. In addition, the firmness is perfect for those who enjoy a firmer base without losing that feeling of control. It's not glass pad firmness, but in my opinion, this is an excellent execution of what a mid base should feel like. Stitching on the Samurai is also surface level with the pad. Now, needless to say, this is both excellence in quality and performance. The white edges contrast the black pad beautifully and goes in line with the artwork. Now, in terms of aesthetic design, this is phenomenal. I really do wish more companies doing single color dominant pads can also add these little touches to their products, because such a simple change really lifts the overall presentation of the pad and it exudes quality and effort that goes in. Now, texture of the Samurai is quite interesting. Under your skates, the pad feels very clothy with a mild cloth texture, rather than somewhat sandpapery kind of abrasive texture which pads like Artisan Hien or Hayate Otsu or even the Ninja has. Now, this can also be felt when touching the pad with your hand, and if you look closely at the weave, you can see there's actually little lines. I'm not sure if that shows up on camera, but there's actually little lines that kind of look like gaps in the fabric from overlapping weave. Now this really reminds me of raranga in New Zealand, commonly known as flax weaving and knitting, done traditionally by the Māori people to create things. In terms of practical usage, the pad feels extremely consistent in all regards, and if anything, I personally love this clothy feeling and texture. It's really confidence-inducing in gameplay, in terms of feeling like you can control your mouse. It's kind of like when walking or biking or driving, you can feel the road under you providing grip, and that really gives you confidence in making movements. In addition, this kind of weave and knitting significantly improves durability and strength of the pad, since it leverages the strength characteristics of the fiber much better. So it makes this a fantastic pad for long-term usage, especially for those of you who are worried about the lifespan of a cloth pad. Now you might see some of these markings, but they don't really affect gameplay at all, and these honestly came from calluses on my hand from just doing this. One thing that had me concerned after seeing the pad initially was whether it would work with arm sleeves or not, given the directionality and little gaps in the weave. Thankfully, the Samurai also works flawlessly with my Lizard Skins Performance arm sleeve on both the X and the Y axes, and I'm more than happy to recommend it. This was an extremely pleasant surprise, given how most clothy pads with a little bit of texture are not sleeve compatible. Now, it's not to say this is the best sleeve glide you'll ever get, such as on an Energon Pro or a P51 Mustang, Gecko kind of thing, but it's still more than competent and above the Saturn Pro, which is where I set my minimum threshold. Now, in terms of speed and control, the pad is definitely a medium speed pad on the mousepad spectrum, right around where the Artisan Zero or Saturn Pro would sit, perhaps just a little bit faster than the latter. Now the pad never feels too slow or too fast in any case. Obviously preferences are a thing, sensitivity, situations in game, etc. are all factors for whether you feel a pad is too fast or too slow, but accounting for all of that, the Samurai really is just super balanced for all things. Both the static and dynamic friction feel very similar. Now when I first acquired the pad and compared it to some others, it felt as if dynamic friction was low, while static friction was somewhat high, meaning that it felt a bit more difficult to start a mouse movement versus, during and stopping a movement. However, I later realized that this was just because I wasn't used to the pad. And it wasn't that this pad was having problems, it's that other pads such as Saturn Pro or Zero tend to be a little faster on the static friction or the initial movement than during the movement, meaning they were actually less balanced than the Samurai. Now that is just to help those pads with micro adjustments, but also giving you control. I won't comment on whether this balance or the difference in balance is a good or bad thing, because you could argue both. But I can definitely say the feeling of consistency on the Samurai is phenomenal and higher than the others. So who should buy the Kurosun Samurai? Well, you can't really buy the pad right now, and I certainly would never recommend anyone to go pay an additional cost for the aftermarket resale values of mouse pads. However, if they ever bring this pad back, or you come across a unit you can purchase for a reasonable price off someone, and the qualities I described in this review sound like something you would enjoy, then this is definitely worth trying. So once again, big thanks to Tekkusai for sending this pad out to me, and congratulations to Kurosun for another quality release into the market. No doubt in my mind that this is easily one of the best to ever exist, and I really hope a larger square version will be offered in the future as well. Now, I look forward to seeing what other items Kurosun can cook up going forward and continue this record of excellence they have achieved. Congratulations, and see you guys all in the next video.